Well, good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Life good? Super. So glad to have you all here again this week. Again, we have a super speaker here today. I haven't known Corbin as long as others, but I've known him for the last couple of years. We met at a networking function. That's why we always talk about networking. And what a pleasant surprise and blessing that he's been in my life and to our university here. So they took the, I could just tell you what I know about him, but I'm going to read some of it. So Corbin is one of those entrepreneurs who's never had a job, except for the one he created for himself. So he's been a serial entrepreneur since he started his first company while he was in college, just like all of you, in 1991, and since then he's built and sold and been involved in 7 different companies. So the first company, Utah Window Sales, started off with, as most entrepreneurial endeavors, hard, it's competitive, there's just hundreds of competitors in the window market, certainly dozens in this area, and with home building, that's a very competitive market. So through perseverance and determination, a lot of hard work, they became well established and known as the window company of choice in Utah. And in 1995, Corbin was named as the National Top Salesperson of the Year by the company's primary supplier. The company grew significantly in the late 90s, spawning a vinyl fence window division in Salt Lake and another wood window division in Scottsdale, Arizona. And in January of 2000, Utah Window Sales was sold to a private party. Then while operating Utah Window Sales and in the years that followed, Corbin started up a number of other companies, and to date, as I mentioned, he's sold 7 businesses. When a longtime friend invited Corbin to invest in the concept of handbag design, Corbin instantly loved it. He loved the uniqueness, the marketability of the product, and he not only invested in the company, but became the CEO and became the driving force between seeing this company, Miche, maybe you've heard of the Miche bags, just rocket. And then he has since sold that business. So now we have the opportunity of having Corbin volunteer here at Brigham Young. I met Corbin, as I said, a couple of years ago, and he became one of our BYU founders. And I invited him to teach a class, 372, which is entrepreneurial skills. And he was a big hit with that class. So this year, this semester, he's actually teaching the BM 170, which is Intro to Entrepreneurship, that's available to all of you. It's a fantastic class. He's teaching it this semester, and then Nick Gert teaches it in the fall. But it's a fantastic class. More than that, though, Corbin has a wonderful family, as we always like to put forward here. And I hope it's never lost on you. It's a drum beat that I'll be beating all semester long, that I frankly don't care how rich any of you get, but I do care how successful you become. And success is more than money. And so I hope that that is a lesson that, that is driven home by myself and the entrepreneurs that speak from this lectern. And so you're really going to enjoy Corbin's speech today. He also likes to give back, and so he has supported many philanthropic endeavors over the course of his career. So he is involved in many right now, just got back with his family from Tibet in doing a huge service endeavor over there with Choice International. So it's my pleasure to introduce Corbin Church to the lecture series. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Thanks, buddy.
So one thing, don't forget, what are we having up there in 710 afterwards?
I think it's burritos or nachos or something like that.
Something really good. So please come up in large numbers if you can. That's where all the learning, real learning takes place through these
You'll switch it over to me.
So I'll see you up there at 4:30.
Well, hopefully this isn't so long and boring that we have to bribe you with burritos afterward, okay? Hopefully you'll have lots of questions and there'll even be some answers. There are a lot of seats over here along the side and some along this far side as well. For those of you sitting, there are seats available. For the next, we have what, 30, 40-ish minutes. I hope to share with you some insights about entrepreneurialism. I am an entrepreneur. I can't call myself a lot of other things, but I certainly am an entrepreneur. As Scott said, I've signed every paycheck I've ever received. So that's all I know is entrepreneurialism, and I'm a big believer in it. And for those of you sitting here today, when you leave, my hope would be that I send you out of here pumped to be an entrepreneur. It's the only life I might know, but I'm also a big believer in the freedoms and the blessings and all that come with entrepreneurialism. It's very fun. So, I'm going to keep it very real. I hope you hear a lot of things from me today that you won't necessarily hear in your other lecture series. I'll put some stuff out there that's very real to life. Just good advice that will be very helpful to you. So first question, how many of you want to be an entrepreneur? Okay. I'm feeling like that was 50, 60% of the class, or the people here. Why would you come to an entrepreneurial lecture series if you don't want to be an entrepreneur? It's a required class. I heard that. Okay, that's a good reason. Okay, well, hopefully if you don't plan to be an entrepreneur, a few of you that came walk out of here maybe wanting to be an entrepreneur. Those of you who want to be an entrepreneur, why? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? By the way, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you better be raising your hand and saying things, because entrepreneurs are extroverts. If you don't talk and you don't open up, you better work on that first if you want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, who wants to be an entrepreneur? Yes, sir. Why, Brad?
More freedom.
More freedom. Okay, why?
I want to be able to own something and put my name on something.
Okay, so not the pride in a negative way, but the pride factor of creating something. Love it. Yeah.
To be able to create something that increases the quality of life.
Okay, quality of life for yourself, others, the world, all in general. Okay, great. Somebody else? Yes, sir.
That's my style.
That's your style. I like it. That's my style. I like your answer. Anybody else? Yes, over here, Matthew.
The ability to have an impact on a certain marketplace.
Okay.
With that impact to change a potential industry that you notice.
Okay, to have an impact on an industry, upon a people. Yes, sorry, behind you. And then you.
Even more focused, I think I'd like to have an impact on my community.
Okay. To have an impact on his community. Now you.
Just create something people love to use.
Okay, create something people want to use. Yeah, there is great satisfaction in that. To see your product move off the shelf, guys, great satisfaction. Yes, sir.
It's kind of that. See something move off the shelf, make a difference, be successful.
Yeah, it's very cool. It is great stuff. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. A woman.
Well, you don't have anyone else telling you what to do.
You don't have anyone else telling you what to do, unless, of course, you're married. Excluding that person. Okay, so you want to be the boss. I like it. Red personality? Okay, yeah, me too. Yes, ma'am.
I can have a family and have a business.
Have a family and a business. Great. Yes, sir. Be passionate. Love it. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Go ahead.
Just to have flexibility later on in life.
Flexibility later on in life. Love your answers. All true. Why didn't anybody say they want to be rich? Can't say that at BYU? What's up? Anybody want to be an entrepreneur because they want to be rich? Okay. I had a fairly singular focus through college. I came home from my mission. I wasn't going to marry until I got into graduate school. I was going to meet my wife in MBA school. She was going to be an MBA. I was going to be an MBA. We were going to go off and get rich. Sorry. Maybe I'm confessing here, but that's what I felt. I did have a singular focus. I met my wife 2 weeks after I got home from my mission. Neither of us were in graduate school. We started our first business 2 months later, after we'd met. We made it through all of the classes that we could take at Salt Lake BYU, but we started a window business that we worked together. My wife's right there. And we didn't graduate. Sorry. So I am not suggesting that you drop out of school to start your business. That would be a terrible mistake. One other bit of advice that I hear people come to me all the time, they quit their job to start a business. Don't do that. You stay in school and you stay with your job until that job replaces the income of your other job. You stay in school You keep working things until your business becomes such that you can't fit everything in, until something crowds the other one out. If you quit your job to start a business, you will put so much stress upon yourself that your business doesn't have a very good chance of success. Okay? You start your business in the evenings and on the weekends. You build it up, and then it will get to a point where it will justify quitting. Yes, sir?
So my question now is, I've heard a lot of people say, if you're not willing to, put something in the game, if you're not willing to go all the way, then you may not be as invested enough to be successful in, the entrepreneurial world. I hear that a lot from investors.
Okay, so he's heard from investors and people that, look, you're not invested. You're not willing to sacrifice this to do that. I can see that point. But I would say to you, look, if you can't feed mom and the kids, you're going to put so much stress upon yourself, your business isn't going to work. So it's a balance. Yes, sir?
Wanted to add, this is kind of from an author perspective, but some of the best books I've read were written by people who had really good jobs to begin with. I'm guessing it's because they didn't have to stress so much.
Okay, so Kara and I, we worked our window business. We went to school in the evenings. We did it all together as much as we could. Our business was in Salt Lake City. We exhausted every class at Salt Lake BYU that we could take in our majors. There was nothing left we could take. And our business now, it took a long time. It was hard. But we built that business up to where it was growing and it was providing a living for us. We didn't have time to come to Provo. Could we have taken class at another university? We didn't give that much consideration. We're pretty diehard BYU people. But it just didn't work out. And we were earning an income, and sometimes that's why we go to college, is to get a job. So anyway, just a little bit of advice right there for you. But as we go through these traits and we talk about why entrepreneurs, there's a lot of varying reasons, all of which were good. I want to share with you something that I share with my class every day. By the way, if you like what you hear today and you think you'd like to attend one of my classes, I teach Business Management 372 next fall. Love to have you in there. It only fits 30 students, but it's a very cool entrepreneurial class where we get into how to do it very specifically. It's a very real, good discussion. But here's why I believe in entrepreneurialism. You see, if you don't build your dream, someone else is going to hire you to help them build their dream. And so if you have a red personality like myself and, what's your name? Catherine. If you're like Catherine and Corbin, well, we're not going to build somebody else's dream. We're going to build our own dream. Okay? And that's, simply put, breaking it into two categories. It's going to be one or the other. All right, let me tell you a little bit about myself. You heard some of the information Scott shared with you in that introduction was correct. We don't need to break down what was correct and what wasn't. Who cares? But I actually started my first business. We could go way back when I was 8 years old. I printed a flyer and I passed it around the neighborhood, and it was asking people if they wanted me to do lawn mowing for them. A little lady many streets away over on Summer Hill, that's about 5 streets away from my home, hired me. What a mistake that sweet little lady made. Because pushing my mom's lawnmower over there lasted only about 2 weeks before that wasn't very fun and I didn't follow through. But when I was 13 years old, I partnered with my brother and we bought a Snow Shack franchise. Snow Shack owned all of their snow cone buildings. They didn't franchise them out. My brother and I went in and we convinced the owners of Snow Shack to sell us one of their buildings. We bought all our syrups from them, we shaved ice, we made snow cones. I did this all the way through high school. I made $3,300 a summer, not a whole lot of money, but I was the richest self-made sophomore, junior, and senior at my high school, $3,300 a year. But I wasn't building somebody else's dream. I was working my own business and learning tremendous amounts. I sold that Snow Shack to go on my mission, came home from my mission, started the window business. During that time, a lot of things happened. By the way, I'm a consumer goods guy. Okay? So you have all these different categories of stuff. If you bring to me a computer science type product, software or something like that, sorry guys, I'm not that smart. Okay? But I am a consumer goods guy. I'll teach you 3 things that are big for me when I look at products. I am looking for 3 specific things when I look at products. Number 1, it has to be marketed to women between the ages of 18 and 65 years old. That's the demographic I want to market to. Why? They buy stuff, they spend. I love them. Really? Women spend all the money. It's really true. And it's an overgeneralization, I realize, but think about this. Married couple in here? Somebody? Married woman? Please? I need a female. Yes, ma'am. Okay, you're married? Do you have children?
Yes.
Okay. Do you buy for yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Do you buy for the children?
Yes.
Do you buy for your husband?
Yes.
And do you buy for the household?
Sure.
That's why I like her. And that's why I want products marketed to women. Women control the purse strings. My check gets direct deposited right into our bank account. I never see anything. True story, several years ago, I'm riding to the airport, grab my wallet, which is gone, that's weird. My wife is driving me and I say, honey, can you spot me some cash? She hands me $7. It's what she had in her wallet. So I got a $7 allowance that week. My point is, my wife buys everything for the house. She buys for the kids, she buys for me, she buys for herself. So products marketed to women tend to do much better, and that's where my focus has always been. Number 2, I am looking for a product that has a continuity aspect to it. In the late 90s, we got involved with Metabolife. Metabolife was a bottle of weight loss pills. It lasted 30 days. It was $50 a bottle. It was a phenomenally popular product and concept. Well, people would line up every month to buy that next bottle of weight loss pills. That's continuity. You've heard of Proactive, anti-acne system sold by Guthy-Ranker. Proactive is a product where they lose money selling you the first time. But the average duration of a customer on Proactive, average, 4.6 years. That means for the next 4.5 years, they're going to keep shipping one of those to your front doorstep and charging your credit card. And although the cost to get you to become a customer early on was expensive to them, all those next ones had no acquisition cost for you as a customer. That's continuity. And lastly, I want something that's totally unique. I don't want to see something that's already out there and you're just doing it in pink versus brown. Okay? I want to see something unique to it. So one of the products that was brought to me, very cool concept. I did not invent this. In fact, I didn't invent any of the products I've ever done. I've never invented a product. Okay? My buddy comes to me and he says, look, you know, women, they like their outfit to match. They like things to tie in. New concept, huh, man? But they want their belt and their bag and their shoes. It all needs to tie in and look nice and make sense. I'm going along with this. My buddy's telling me, he's a guy, and like you know anything about this. He says, so, you know, they're always changing their handbag. They're taking their bag and they're dumping out all their, little bit of a conflict here. We call it junk, you call it stuff. For purposes of today's discussion, we'll go with stuff. You're dumping out all your stuff, you're scooping it up, and you're putting it into your other bag so that you can run out the door and it matches. But too often, you leave something behind in the other bag. True or false? True? So he comes in and he says, look, what if instead of dumping all that stuff out and switching it around, what if I could simply take off one exterior and throw another one on, going from orange to the 4th of July? Plus, how cool. Would you buy a bag for the 4th of July, ladies? No, but if you could just buy an exterior, you might go with that because that's pretty cool, isn't it? And I'm a guy and I can say that's pretty cool. So That idea right there hit on all of those cylinders. That idea went phenomenally popular and grew. It grew through a process, though, and I'll work through that a little bit. But that's kind of how things went, and one idea led to another, led to another, led to another. I want to go through some traits of entrepreneurs because there are a few that are critical, and there are some that will work against us. First of all, share with me, what are traits of an entrepreneur? Anybody? Yes, sir. Extremely driven. Thank you.
Creative.
Creative. Thank you. Creative. Yes.
Passionate.
Passionate. Thank you. Persistent.
Works well in stress.
Works well under stress. Hopefully, yeah. Yes, sir.
Willing to take risks.
Willing to take risks. Very good one.
Extrovert.
Extroverts. Thank you. Aggressive. Okay. Observant. Very good one. Matthew? Visionary. Listener. Wrong screen. Yes.
Continuous learner.
Continuous learner. Well done. Okay. Yes, sir.
Able to seek and seize opportunities.
Okay. There's a hand over here. No. One more. Last one.
Delegator.
Delegator. Very important. Okay. So here's my list. It'll match up a lot. They're very outgoing. They tend to have a lot of confidence. You better have confidence. You're going to be the it person, whether it's the it guy or the it gal. It's going to be you. You better be confident. Passionate, somebody said. Observant, so important. Okay, I'll come back to this one in a minute. Visionary, determined, a listener. I'm glad I heard that one. Frugal, they're savers. Okay, come back to that. High risk tolerance. Fearless, not afraid to fail. They question conventional wisdom. And they revisit the rules. Sorry we're going so fast, but I have so little time. We're going to cook through this, okay? We can make these slides available. There's probably more than that, but that's a good list, all right? The key is, or the problem here is 90% of startups fail. Why? Is it because the entrepreneur didn't possess some of those traits? Why do 90% of startups fail? Well, actually, it's not necessarily because they didn't possess some of those traits. More often, it's because we as entrepreneurs possess those traits. But on several of them, because we're too passionate, because we're too determined, what if our vision's wrong? What if it's flawed, our idea, our product, the road that we're on? But what are we? We're passionate and we're determined. We're going down with this sinking ship. It's no bueno. That means it's not good. These things work against us, guys. They can be positives, but they can also be negatives. So, here's how you can keep those as positive traits for you, okay? And this is what you're going to learn in our class. So those of my classmates that are here, a little bit redundant, but you have to have intellectual honesty above all, which is a willingness to face up to facts rigorously, whether they prove you right or wrong. This is about finding out who your customer is. So let's pick one of these. Here is Endless Youth. No, yeah, let's go Endless Youth. Okay, Susan Lucci, spokesperson. Endless Youth, it's an anti-aging product. Who's my customer? Women? 40 and up. I like that. About 40 and up is when women start to think about anti-aging. When do men start thinking about it? 85 and up. Women start thinking about it about 40 and up. If I'm going to launch that product, which, by the way, that product, the opening order from Walmart was $4 million. About a third of the opening order was all profit. They never placed a second order. Failure. I mean, you might say, wow, that's a pretty big opening order. Yeah, but it didn't sell again. As an entrepreneur, you don't write an opening order. You want to keep selling. Never got a second order. Okay? The way you figure out how to make a product work is through intellectual, honest learning. And that means before you ever launch or create the product, you talk to the buyer. You figure out who your consumer is, and then you learn all about them. You ask them what they want and be sure that the product you're creating is something that they would buy. If you're creating something they're not going to buy, you're not going to get a reorder. Okay? Super important. So that's where you can't be so passionate and so determined about your vision. If your vision's wrong, you better go be sure that that vision is correct and spot on. And you do that through learning about your customer and learning from them. All right. Traits of an entrepreneur. Listeners. That's what I was getting at. You've got to know your customer, which means asking a lot. Killing the question. Asking so many people until somebody says to you, I would buy that. Let me share a story with you. Last semester, my classes break into groups and they start companies. One of them started a light for a longboard. Cool idea. I didn't know so many people longboarded. But they put an LED strip of lights on the front of their board. They took like clay and built it, and they poked Christmas lights through it. That's how much money they spent. They went around to all these people and said, what do you think? And they got all this feedback, and then they changed it. They made it so that it would fit different shapes of boards. They figured out how to put a battery pack on it and mount it on the other side of the board. As they kept asking, they kept learning. They weren't trying to sell it, they were trying to learn. And as they did so, they kept modifying and modifying and modifying until they got that product just right. When that product was just right, they walked into yet another shop. And they said, what do you think about this product? This is a skateboard shop. You want to know what the owner of the shop said? How soon can I order that? Now you're ready to go into production. Too many people go into production way too fast before they've refined their product. Okay? So you got to be a good listener, guys, if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Frugal, savers. Let's start with savers. Who can I pick on? You. Come here. Sorry to pick on you. Do you have a savings account?
Yeah.
Was that being honest, or were you lying?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, how much money you got? Disclose.
20,000.
Whoa! Okay, you're a bad example. Sit back down. Stay here. How many of you do not have a savings account? Come on, be honest. Too afraid. Okay, a few hands go up. Most people don't have a substantial savings. People come to me and they'll pitch a concept to me. They'll come to me and they'll say, look, this is my idea. I'm going to make Apple computers. And, sorry, I know you're note-taking. Look at this cool computer I've created. Look, the Apple lights up, stuff like that. I need 150 grand to start making these. And I say, okay, and we go through all through the vision, and we go through the plan and all this. And then I turn to him. What's your name?
Judd.
Judd. Judd's asking me for 150 grand. And I turn to Judd and I say, Judd, what are you going to put into this?
20 grand.
If he impressed me with his product and his plan, and he tells me he's putting in 20 grand, he got me. If I turn to Judd and I say, Judd, how much you putting in? Judd shrugs his shoulders and says, well, I don't really have anything. I'm a college student. Judd just lost me. Now, maybe we would do it, but the point that I'm making is, what's Judd putting on the line for our new business? At $20,000, Judd just put everything he has on the line. You know what his commitment to our business is going to be? He's going to bust it. If he had $3,000 saved, do you think I'd be just as interested? Yeah. You know why? $3,000 to Judd, it's a lot of money. Thanks, appreciate you. Thanks for letting me pick on you. You have to save. So I hereby command every one of you to start saving right now. You gotta have money. True story. We're sitting at Thanksgiving many, many years ago, 1996 or so. You guys probably may not have even been born. Yeah, you were born. It doesn't matter. We're sitting at Thanksgiving dinner. A family member comes in and he starts talking about this crazy phenomenon that's taking place in Ohio. It was called metabolife. I told you about it. I sat there and listened. And I listened about the money. And I listened about everything that was going on. And on Monday morning, I pulled one of my employees out. And I said, I want you to open. We had phone books back then. It's this thing full of pages with phone numbers. You guys wouldn't know. I said, I want you to call every mall in this country. And I want you to ask them if they have a metabolife cart. And I want you to find every mall that doesn't have one. And I want you to secure the spot in the mall for the cart. That generated millions of dollars for us. But the key was, one, I was sitting there listening. But two, I had money to go do it. I didn't have a lot of money. But we had enough to go open some carts. And that produced millions of dollars. You got to have money because opportunities will come along. Be prepared for it and have something in savings. So the next thing, oh, great proverb, those who save have, those who have get. Okay, I like it. But the other one then is being observant. It kills me to walk across campus and see you guys, because what are you doing? Nobody's looking up, and you guys all wear headphones. Okay? Not entrepreneurs. You've got to be highly involved in everything around you. You've got to be observant. Okay? One of the exercises I do in my class is just an observancy exercise. We go out as a class to the bookstore, and we wander for 15 minutes with no other objective. This is a place where you guys generally walk through most every day, but you don't pay any attention. Wilkinson Center is another place. You walk through, you don't pay any attention, you're beelining through it on a mission to something. What if you just stopped and sat and paid attention? Look at what people, have you done something like that? Tell me about it, will you? It's a different experience is the point, isn't it? When you stop and you look around and you pay attention, you'll see a different world. And if you're always doing this, entrepreneurs are looking for pains. Okay, what's a pain? It's a problem. And when you solve a pain, you find a solution to a problem, that means money. That's a business opportunity. Okay? But you won't see pains if you're not being observant. So that's one of the more important traits of an entrepreneur. When we talk about pains, we're talking about monetizable pains. Pains that we can turn into money. I get pitched a lot of products. 3, 4, 5 products a week. Most of these are mosquito bites. Okay, we have mosquito bite on this end of the spectrum, and on this end of the spectrum, we have a shark bite. Okay? For this pain, am I going to take a daily vitamin? Or am I going to need 4 Loratab 4 times a day and morphine being pumped into me? Okay, that's Google. That's Apple. Okay? Where is the pain? If it's nearer to a mosquito bite, maybe move on from that and keep looking. You're looking for a monetizable pain that's going to cash in and make something out of it, okay? All right, lessons for along the journey. You guys, this sits in my office at home. Anybody know what that's called? Newton's Cradle. Nifty little toy. Hope everybody can see it. You know, ball's bouncing. But to me, it has greater significance. If I do 2 balls go, kind of cool. But you see there, that was an unintended consequence that worked perfectly for my illustration. You got to keep balance in life for your business to succeed, for your family to succeed, for everything to succeed. And here's what I'm talking about. We get out of balance. Where are you guys out of balance right now? Which of these circles is bigger than the other one? Sleep, I love it. Yeah, school. This circle right here is crowding out the others significantly, isn't it? Yeah, and so it's crowding out sleep, I heard that, which is health. These 5 areas of your life need to be in balance. If you think that as an entrepreneur you're just going to work, 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 and this right here gets so big, what's going to suffer? Guys, men, women that work 80-hour weeks. What's going to suffer? Something. Ends in divorce, ends in obesity or other health problems, stressed out, okay? Spirituality, stop going to church, working on Sunday. You guys have to keep a balance in life. And so that right there sits in my office as a reminder to me of how important that balance is in life. Okay, back to our lessons for along the journey. Number 2 is integrity. I'm going to share a great book with you. Clayton Christensen used to be, I think he's retired now, but he's a professor at Harvard. And he recently wrote this book, How Will You Measure Your Life? Great read. Very short book, very easy read. Here's the key that I want to share with you about this book, guys. How are we doing on time? 10 minutes, thanks. He says, I end every class, every day, reminding my students to be sure they do 3 things. Those 3 things are, each day to work diligently to be happy in my career. Guys, choose a career in which you're going to be happy. It's going to consume a lot of your time in life, okay? Be sure your major is something you enjoy. So be happy in your career. Be sure you have quality family relationships. And number 3, be sure to stay out of jail. Clayton is a Harvard graduate, and he says, I started studying my graduating class. He says, these people are going on and they're becoming CEOs and leaders of the biggest companies and corporations in our country. As each successive reunion came and went, I started to see something so interesting take place. More and more divorces. Classmates that had total dysfunctionality in their homes. Men and women that didn't communicate with their children. And he said, wow. And then he had, one of his classmates was Jeffrey Skilling. Who's Jeffrey Skilling? Enron. He said, mean it. Guys, stay out of jail. So whatever you do, don't make your pursuit of being an entrepreneur or wealth be so great that you'll sacrifice anything for it. Be sure to stay grounded. All right, and so the third thing then is give back. I want to share something with you that was an amazing learning experience for me. We're a few years into our handbag company now, and I saw a company doing something to give back. And I said to my designer, we were traveling somewhere, and I said, how cool, why don't we do something like that? She said, what would we do? And I said, cancer. I lost my dad to cancer the month before I started Miche. So it was a sensitive spot for me, and I said, let's do cancer. We took one of our exteriors, and we called it our Hope exterior. So this one says Hope all over on it. We took this exterior, and we said, all right, every time we sell one of these, we're going to donate the profits to cancer research. This was a genuine effort to say thanks for our success and to give back to a meaningful cause. A cause that touches almost everybody in some way. I had no idea, but I'm sharing with you something very important right now. It's called cause marketing. Never heard the term cause marketing. Our first day of sales, we sold more of that exterior than we had ever sold of any other exterior in the history of our business. In our first year of sales, we generated $704,500 in profits, which were donated to the Huntsman Cancer Institute. The following year, over $1 million. When you do something like that, and you do it sincerely, you send a very important message. What message? What? This company's got heart. Well, my company happened to be 17,500 female salespeople and hundreds of thousands of female customers. It resonated with them. I didn't do it to build my company. And I can't tell you how much that grew our company. But I can tell you it was very, very significant. I would tell you easily, double digits growth attributed to our Hope program. So guys, have something in your company that gives back. Pick a cause, do it, but do it right. And do it for the right reasons. It's very big to be a company that gives back, all right? So, then on your journey's end, you go down this road, you've started your business. As you go down this road and you're wondering, how am I going to get this started? How am I going to get the right people on my board? How am I going to pitch this? You need to understand that there are a group of us here, Scott spoke of, mentors at BYU. We're here to help you. It's kind of a funny program. We pay to be your mentor. But we're seriously here to help you get the right people on your board, get in the right position, find investors. When you come up with that idea that you think's big, you come to one of us. We'll help connect you and get you down that road. You need to take it far enough along. We can't meet with every single brand new idea, but you take it far enough along and we'll help you get it the rest of the way if you've proven it, okay? But that's what we're there for. And then when you hit that dream and it's mission accomplished, be sure you remember it's time to give back, okay? The reason that we're here as mentors and we teach classes here for nothing is because we're giving back. We're trying to help you be successful in the hope that you guys go out, you create that great success, and you come back and give. That grows this university. It grows our faith. It's an indirect way, but it comes back and does all that. And that's the vision and purpose of BYU. So please remember this. I remember last semester, there was a Lamborghini parked out here during Entrepreneur Week or something. You did that? I'm just harassing you. Don't go buy a Ferrari. Don't go buy a Ferrari. Don't go buy a Lamborghini. I truly believe this, and I'm going to end with this, is guys, if you have that success, you've been blessed with that success, and there's a great quote that says, I think it was Warren Buffett, if it's your money, why can't you take it with you to the next life? It's not our money. And we have a responsibility, once we acquire, to give back and to help other people who are less fortunate. So keep that in mind. It's about entrepreneurialism. For all those reasons you said, you want freedom, you want to have the luxuries, you want to be the decision maker, you want to contribute to a people, to a society, and you just want to have that feeling of creating something. It's also about creating enough that you can help and give back. So keep that in mind. All right, last thing, shoot for the stars. Entrepreneurs are goal-driven people. I had a goal to become the president of IBM when I was younger than you. IBM was the Google or the Microsoft of that day. I also had a goal to become the president of the United States. I'm a little embarrassed to say that one, but I think it's funny. And my other goal was to be retired by the time I was 30 years old. I went 0 for 3 on my goals. But you want to know what? I shot for the stars. And even though I came up short, I'm pleased with where I am. Don't set your goals down here, guys. Set them up here. Go for the top. Go big. And lastly, don't do ordinary. Everybody around you is doing ordinary. Be extraordinary. In everything you do every day, go the extra mile and be extraordinary. Best of luck to you.